Hey, it's Nancy, and welcome to another episode of I Love GH. But I'm sorry, is the first thing I'm going to say because it's been 2 weeks, and the reason for that is because I've got a lot going on. Besides work and creating some items for the holidays, I do crafting and I have my own store I'm working on. But I'm doing some jewelry making. But not only that, it's been kind of troubling watching the show. And the reason for that is because things are not going according to what we think they should be going according to when it comes to Sonny's return, his relationship with Carly, how people are reacting to Nina, and the BS that she has put this family through for the last 9 months. And I just don't get it, okay? Along with the fact that we now know, Spencer is the stalker. We already knew that on our side of the world, but okay, in Soapland it has been exposed, and we also know that Esme has played an integral part in his behavior, maybe the worst parts of his behavior. But he's suffering the consequences for it now because ain't nobody going to take this mess but for so long. And once Ava found out that it was him, she's like, you're not getting away with this. And on some level, I can agree with her because of the simple fact that Spencer has never had a mother figure in his life. Because I'm sorry, Laura has not been the best mother figure in his life because she really hasn't spent any valuable time with him that we can really look at and say made a difference in his life in some degree, because he still grew up a privileged, spoiled child because she felt it was better to send him to boarding schools to keep him safe from Valentine. And that was just a bunch of hooey. Okay, we know that in real life he was working, Nicholas Beshel, but that's besides the point. If you really cared about this child, he would have been made a part of the unprivileged part of the family, if you want to put it that way, hanging out more with the Spencers, hanging out more with Elizabeth and the boys, his cousins. Also spending time with his other cousins, with Sonny. Everybody wants to make Sonny out to be this mobster, and that's all he is, even though he's supposed to be the mobster with a heart of gold who loves his children and his family. But the bottom line is that he is a decent parent. Regardless of what he does for a living, him and Carly are decent parents, and he should have been allowed to spend more time with them. Okay, the man lives in a compound, okay? And Spencer living on an island basically by himself was not the best parental choices for him. So, with Alfred, what is that? You know what I'm saying? And then on top of the fact of him thinking that his father was dead for 3 years, you think that's not going to be traumatic for him as a child? And the fact that they've never really paid any attention to him to include him in anything because you just wanted him to be a Cassadine and a spoiled little brat. So his behavior is the norm when it comes to Cassadine behavior. But we're not going to overanalyze him. The real problem is Esme. Esme is the devil's spawn. She's just a Nell 2.0 or 2.21, okay? Because this is the year 2021. And she is completely out of control. And that storyline is going to be something interesting because, like I keep saying, Spencer just went ahead and brought home his own stalker. This girl is actually stalking him. She is controlling him. She's taking advantage of the fact that he really felt like he had no family. And here I have this girl who's being extremely supportive of me. Why not? Why not give all my love to her? And then he meets Trina, who is definitely different from Esme and don't take no BS from nobody and has a class and dignity of her own. Okay, just being raised by her mother and Taggart as her father, even though we can say that she was basically raised with a single parent because they divorced when she was young. So Portia did a great job raising this girl, and she don't take no guff, and I don't blame her. Okay, Trina is all that in a bag of chips, and they should not feel guilty for anything that they've done. Her, Cameron, and Jocelyn to put Spencer in check, because if somebody didn't do it, things were only going to get escalated, and they did start to escalate with the fact that Miss Thing thought it was going to be a smart idea to step to a man that she knows nothing about from Adam or Eve. okay, speaking of Sonny, at the hospital, tell him this lie, knowing this man has just returned to his family after being kept away from them for 9 months and feels very, very strongly about his family. Okay, and especially his daughter Avery when it comes to Ava and Nicholas. That he wasn't going to go over to the island and step to Nicholas in some way, shape, or form. What she didn't expect was the degree that he was going to step to her, step to Nicholas. Okay, he didn't know that Sonny would, in this present state of mind, being overprotective of what's his, okay, because he's reclaiming his life. And I'm sorry, we'll get to that. But because he's reclaiming his life, the notion that Ava is going to take Avery away from him, or even worse, Nicholas, was not something that was going to happen. So of course he was going to show up with two burly guys, and they were going to talk about teaching Nicholas a lesson about, trying to take Avery away from him. And if it wasn't for the fact that Jocelyn followed her, saw what she did, and took the photograph to send to Trina and Cameron to show to Spencer so he can run inside and stop his uncle from hurting his father, we don't know what Sonny would have done to Nicholas. So again, this girl goes to the extra mile when it's not necessary. So she's a detriment. She is dangerous. Okay. And now we know that she's got this internship. How? We don't know, because who are you? Okay. And she's going to be working at the minimum security prison facility where Ryan is, so she can either torment Ryan or learn from Ryan. So what's that going to be about? That's the thing that we need to pay attention to next. So that's what we're dealing with when it comes to the teenagers. And Trina's feeling bad about things, and that's all right. You can feel bad, sweetheart. But bottom line is, Spencer doesn't need you to feel bad for him. What Spencer needs is to suffer the consequences for his actions, which is presently happening through Ava. Now, I don't think she's going to keep him locked up. She wanted him to spend a night in jail to learn a lesson, but these are serious charges, okay? And the person that really should be in jail right now is Esme. But Ava ain't no fool, okay? And that little girl seriously does not know who she's messing with. So Ava's going to recognize the fact that, yes, she is a kind of a child, okay, because she's supposed to be 19 going on 20 or 20 years old, so she's supposed to be classified as an adult, but I'm sorry, we're not adults at that point. We think we are, but we're not. She needs to be taught a lesson, and she needs to be put in check by the person who can put someone in check best, and that would be Ava in this present situation. So I'm going to wait and see what's going to happen with that. Moving along, we've got Brooklyn trying to bribe Austin away from the family, and that's going to backfire on her big time, because one, you're using a child again. First it was Bailey to get the sheriffs back, and now it's your stepbrother Leo. We know that, yes, Leo may be autistic, he may be on the spectrum, but who are you to use this child, to use what is something that is truly hard for Olivia to deal with right now, to come to that reality that something may possibly be wrong with her young son? Okay, but she hasn't even been able to come to those terms because everybody is talking around her and not talking to her. Okay, so that's why Olivia is seriously on the defensive. And no mother wants someone to tell her something is wrong with her child, and in the way that these people are going about it. So while Austin, because he's on the outside looking in right now and he's trying to get on the inside, his information is not being received properly. If he is doing something genuine, then yes, that should be recognized. If he's not being genuine, then yes, he needs to be put in check. But for some reason, I'm feeling like he is being genuine in this particular situation when it comes to just Leo. When it comes to the Quartermaines as a whole, no. There is still a problem there. Okay, he is still up to no good because the way he's trying to get his seat at the table and to get his father's name added back to the Quartermaines or to be given a recognition as a Quartermaine is not the best way to go, because you're being overbearing, basically. So if I was Austin, I would take a step back, because we're also going to see he's going to, run into Jason in the gym, and he's just going to be over the top overbearing. It's like, look, dude, I don't want to have nothing to do with you. I don't care what you got going on. Jason don't give a flying fig Newton. He's got his own life to be concerned with. So dealing with Austin is like the last thing that he wants to even have to allow in his orbit at this point, because he's got his own personal things going on. But Austin does not know how to pull it back. And the fact that he's being played by Roger Harwood, who was Franco, and seems to talk to Jason in that same tone, same attitude, like, I know you better than you know yourself, which annoys the hell out of me about everyone in Port Charles when it comes to Jason. I cannot, after 20 something years, stand the fact that people still, oh, well, Jason's just being Jason. Well, we might get some emotion out of him. Oh, do you understand above a kindergarten level? I mean, what kind of insults are those? This man is a gunman. He uses his brain 24/7. And if anything, he is always the smartest person in the room. The most level-headed, the most precise. He don't take no shit from nobody, and he's straight up honest. And that, if that's a problem, if that makes him less than, then please continue to be who you are. Because I love Jason. Jason is my man. Okay? There's nothing Jason can do wrong. The fact that he feels the need, that him and Carly both feel the need that they have to be so upfront and honest with Sonny, and Sonny's not being upfront and honest with them, okay, is remarkable. The fact that him and Carly can just kind of step back and say, you know what? He's back now. We're going to give him his life back. We're going to put our feelings back in that box that they've been in for the past 20 some odd years. And we will not be acting on our feelings, because I respect this man as my brother, my best friend, my family. And Carly as my husband, my best friend, my family. And I don't want to lose my relationship with Jason. So yes, we as adults can do that. And we have no problem being honest with you, Sonny. But Sonny continues to walk around town like okay, I was away for 9 months and I missed everything about my life. But dude, you are trying to dictate people's actions and their truths, and you're not telling the truth. You go to see Nina in her office to set the ground rules. Who the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you? I don't blame her for saying, oh, am I supposed to be scared of you? Am I supposed to leave town? But on the other hand, why would you stay in town? What is your reasoning for staying? Because it's not your family, because it was no problem for you to leave your family when you needed to get yourself together. Okay. And when you decided that, oh, maybe I will stay in Nixon Falls because I have this new life with Mike, and I'm going to try to keep that at any means necessary, which meant keeping him away from his family, perpetrating this fraud of a relationship that you guys had going on, and allowing yourself to get emotionally involved with a man that did not belong to you. And allowing this man to get emotionally involved with you, where he uttered the words, I love you, and was ready to have sex with you. And even before you came upon, he had made the decision that he did not want to know who he was. That whatever that life was, that was his past. And that he was looking forward to a new future as Mike. That was his decision. He made that decision consciously because he knew that there were things that he could do to find out who he was. And between him, Phyllis, Lenny, Nina, Jax, the cops, Peter, nobody had intentions of telling this man who he was. And he had no wherewithal to want to find out. and kept saying it out loud. And now that he has both his memories as Mike and Sonny, he's come back to Port Charles and is going to have the audacity to get angry with his wife and his best friend and question their motives, their feelings, and their actions. Are you kidding me? Who? What? What? When you still have not admitted to your wife that you were allowing yourself to fall in love with someone else. Just as she was starting to allow herself to fall in love with someone else. But so happens that someone else for her was someone who's been her friend for the last 20 some odd years and has been there for her 110% through all 6 of your marriages and all of your children, his children, with other women, relationships with other women, even a relationship with his woman twice. Okay? Twice. Sam and Carly. Now, even though Sonny was with Sam first, what did he do? He pushed her off on Jason when he knocked her up to keep it a secret from Carly. Sonny. But that was okay. That was okay. Now, granted, she lost the baby, but she lost the baby because of her mother, Alexis, but we won't go into that. But it was Jason that had to pick up the pieces. It was Jason who covered for Sonny and took responsibility for Sam and was willing to raise their child as his own, or at least for Sonny. Just like Sonny, he gave Michael to Sonny. So what's up with that? Where is your loyalty, Sonny? When do you step aside and give back to Jason? Okay? Because I don't see where you've done that quite often. If anything, you were immediate about taking your place back with no care for him, Jason's feelings. None whatsoever. Not one time did you talk about his feelings and understand. But him, Jason, and Carly have quietly listened to you and haven't asked you the hardest questions that they need to be asking. Because I'm sorry, when he came home and Carly said that Nina is a problem and her getting away and me stepping off and not doing anything to her and you not being as angry as I feel you should be, as angry as I am about what's been going on and what transpired in the last month, that's confusing to me. And that doesn't tell me that you're the same man who left. Okay? You're not the same man that I was married to when you fell off that bridge. So what the hell is going on? All right? And then enter Jax hinting as to, did Sonny tell you about his relationship with Nina? You've got that. People are starting to put 2 cents together who knew Nina talking about Mike. So then you've got Britt. Really? Then you got Ava, who now wants to use it to her advantage because she feels like, well, I'm in love, you're in love, I got Nicholas back, you should be able to fight for a chance with Sonny when you know good and damn well that ain't gonna happen. And if it does happen, all you want to do is throw it in Carly's face, which is exactly what she did. When she started to put the 2 cents together, she didn't go to Nina first. She went to Carly first because she wanted to see where the tide was, how much Carly knew about Sonny and Nina in Nixon Falls. And when she found out that Carly really doesn't know any of the truth about the real relationship that was going on between Sonny and Nina, she hightailed it to Nina's office so she can then say, oh girl, you got something over Carly? Oh, we must use this to our advantage. And her only thoughts is, if Nina and I are friends and she breaks up Carly and Sonny, that's going to help me get better custody of Avery. No, okay? Because Carly immediately picked up on your bullshit. She immediately figured out the fact that, yeah, she's just here to kind of see what's going on. But it also made Carly suspicious. Okay? It made her start to put on her thinking cap. And her thinking cap is not clear right now, because right now all she wants to do is make Nina pay for what she's done, but she's not paying attention to what Nina has actually done in its entirety. And that's the emotional entanglement between her and Sonny. She needs to get that part of the conversation going. She needs that part of the information, because once she gets that part of the information, then she can make a conscious decision about her relationship with Sonny, where it is and where she would like it to continue. Because if you ask me, at this point, her and Jason deserve to be together. Carly and Jason deserve their moment. Because I will say it, and I don't have a problem saying it, Sonny has basically made himself obsolete. Okay? The writers have made the character of Sonny Corinthos Jr. obsolete. Why do I say that? Because in the 9 months that we were looking at the other soap opera, Nixon Falls, with him as Mike, Carly and Jason and everyone involved moved forward 100% without him, without a bump. Okay? And when I say without a bump, I mean the fact that everybody was able to make the accommodations and move forward. Okay? Yes, their emotions, their feeling, their grief kept them a little stuck, but life went on. They did what they had to do to secure the business. They did what they had to do to secure their families. And once they finished doing that, then they were able to say to each other, we survived this moment. We have to make a decision to do something that we normally would not have done. And the only reason why we would not have done that is because Sonny was alive. But because we know Sonny to be dead, we deserve to be happy. And if us being happy, filling that hole in our lives, means that me, Carly, and Jason explore being together to maintain the business, to maintain the strength of our families, then that is what we will do. But we made that decision together, and it took time, and no one pushed the other. No one was forcing the other to do anything, much to the chagrin of everyone else watching from the outside in, who wanted to kind of blame things on Carly. Oh, Carly's getting what she's always wanted, when Carly was the one that was giving the most resistance. Jason was ready to settle in and be her man, give her and his and the family what they deserved from him. He was 100% ready for that. But Carly was the one that was holding on, because Carly is the wife. She's the wife of the man that she has lost, and she is grieving deeply for that love. So, and then on top of the fact, she had to weigh the decision of taking a love for someone that was in her life first, before Sonny, okay, and bringing it back to the surface in a place where we can say, I love you in a romantic way and not in a friendship way. Because their relationship up to now has been based on their loving friendship. And there are all kinds of love, people. Okay? Romantic love is one thing. The connection between parent and child love is a different type of love. And then you have your friends, okay? Love or hate them, you do have those friends in your life that you truly love, that you would step in front of a bullet for, okay? And that's a very deep and profound love to have, because it's the same kind of love that you would have for someone that was your blood relation. Well, some blood relations, okay? Because while we know Jason would fight for the Quartermaines, he really doesn't consider himself a Quartermaine. He is a Morgan, okay? He is his grandmother's child, even though he's adopted to that family, and as far as, you know, Monica is concerned, but Lila was his grandmother by blood, okay, from Alan. So he is a Quartermaine, but he's a Morgan, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate that while, he is somewhat estranged from these people and he does not let these people dictate his life, he still has a level of respect from them and he can receive from them. Okay. So for people to claim for him to be so emotionally shut off as they do and have no respect for the man that he has become, that's always been a problem for me. And I will always have a problem with how anybody communicates with him when they talk to him like he's stupid, like he's an imbecile, like he doesn't understand. When, again, he's the smartest person in the room. So Sonny getting him to tell him the truth and the whole truth about what was about to happen in the bedroom on their wedding night between Carly and Jason, with no, particular way. He just told the truth. Yes, we made a decision that our marriage was going to be real. And that was based on the fact that we thought you were dead. You were presumed dead. Okay? If we knew you were alive, then none of this would have taken place. Thank you, Nina. Okay? But he's not going to get mad at Nina first. He's going to get mad. And I haven't watched last Friday episode, the 15th. I haven't watched that episode yet. I will be watching in a little bit once I finish this up, because I wanted to get this done and posted, because the last commentary I did, like I said, it was an hour. It was perfect. But because there was video in the background, I got tagged. But that's okay, because I'm better now. I was really upset then, but I'm better now. But I still haven't watched Friday. I saw clips of Friday on YouTube. So this is why I can talk about the fact that, Jason and Sonny have this conversation, and then he's going to have the conversation with Carly. But that conversation takes place on Friday, the 15th of October, and I have not watched that yet, and I'll be watching that after. So I will be posting another video today, because I wanted to get something out before this week's shows started. So it is in the early morning, Monday morning, the 18th of October, where I'm doing this commentary for the last 2 weeks. Okay. So, we talked about that. Oh, Jocelyn seeing Nina for the first time was epic. And this is the reason why I got tagged, because I wanted to experience that conversation with you. Jocelyn makes me so proud, because she is 100 Carly's mini me. 100. 100. She has discernment. She has dignity and integrity when she speaks. She speaks clearly. She doesn't wander off in her thoughts. She knows exactly what she wants to say when she says it. And I will give the writers kudos on that, because they have put some epic words into her mouth in that conversation and that confrontation with Miss Nina at Kelly's. Okay, because when she read that woman from head to toe, I was like, yes. And just like her mother, she know how to clear a room. She said, Cameron, isn't your break over? Give him a kiss. Yeah, my break's over. I'll go. You'll be all right? Oh, I'm perfectly fine. And she was not disrespectful. Not one moment was she disrespectful. What she did do, though, was let this woman know that she was a hypocritical liar. Hypocritical liar. Let's say it again. Hypocritical liar. Okay? She took that journal out and she said, yeah, I want to return something to you. This journal that you gave me last year, even though I stopped writing, but I didn't tell you that because I didn't want to be disrespectful of the gift that you gave me. But I did start writing again when Sonny died, or when we thought Sonny died. Yeah. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the words that I wrote, RIP, when I was sad about Sonny dying. RIP, how much we all missed him. RIP, my mother quietly in her room sobbing so I wouldn't hear her, but I can hear every time her heart was breaking. RIP, The moments that we did start to feel like a family again. Rip. And all the times that you lied to my father. You lied. Not only did you lie to us, you lied to my father. My father comes to Nixon Falls all forlorn to get you back because how much he cares for you and gets shot for it. And what do when he's on the gurney and he sees Sonny? You tell him he's not seeing what he sees. So you lie to him. You tell him what his eyes behold are not true. Who the hell are you? You are a hypocrite in the worst way. So I will keep my words. And then she dropped the book, but she picked it. I would not have picked that shit up. I would have left that shit right on the floor. But no, she's cool. She picked it up, but I want you to have this. Okay? And I never want to see you or that book ever again. And then she goes home to her mother so she can tell her mother what she did. Hello, baby girl. Okay? Because I ain't got no qualms about telling my mama what I did because I was not rude. I was not disrespectful. I was not cursing at you. I didn't even yell. Excuse me. I burped. Did not even raise her voice. Okay? But she was very clear about how she feels about you and you need to step off. That's what she did. And that's what she told her mother. But she also saw that her mother's heart is breaking. Because what's going on? Ma, you're not reacting the way that we think you should, okay? Because we know you. So where is the atomic bomb? Even Olivia, okay? When Carly and Olivia was in a meeting in their office about renewing Crimson's lease, and Olivia's like, you're not going to refuse to renew the lease? No, why should I? Why should I? They pay their rent on time. I have no problems with their business. It's the owner I have a problem with. But that's okay because I want to keep my enemy close. Okay? Keep your friends close, keep your enemies closer. She ain't fooling about that because she needs to know what that bitch is doing at all times. At all times. Okay? Because now she needs to find out that instead of my husband coming to me and staying with me in the restaurant, he went to see Nina. What's up with that? So he can lay the ground rules. That whole conversation between him and Nina was too much for me. Okay? It was too intimate for somebody who never wants to lay eyes on this sad woman again. It was still too intimate, even with him laying the ground rules. But her resistance in her soft tone, cooing at him, and him looking at, I must resist, I must resist, I must resist. No, fool, you should have never came to her office. And then Phyllis giving Nina his father's watch, her finding the watch one, but you went to his house first, gave him things that he really didn't need because he's no longer Mike. So what was the point? The point was so you can size up his wife and how he lives as Sonny. That's what you wanted to do. And still try to push him towards Nina by saying you need to forgive her. Okay, because before you came home, you were vowing your love to her. But excuse me, but you in my wife's house now. So you're going to disrespect my wife by talking about this situation? A situation he has not still shared with his wife? Hello? So Phyllis feels that comfortable that I felt like you needed somebody to talk to. Who, what? What? He shouldn't be discussing it with Phyllis anymore. You should be discussing this with your wife. Telling your wife what you did in Nixon Falls. If you can tell your therapist, bitch, you can tell your wife. And I'm talking about Sonny. Okay? Yes, I called him a bitch. Because at this point, you not stepping up to the plate and telling your real truth so that everybody can be completely clear about what took place in Nixon Falls is a problem for me. So he should never be in a room with Nina alone. Never. If it's truly over, if Mike is gone, what is the purpose of a conversation? And you should not have no problem with your wife having a conversation with her, or even contemplating revenge. You shouldn't have a problem with that. If anything, you should be plotting it together, is how I feel. Okay, but we know you ain't gonna do that because you torn between two lovers at this point. Because you quick to make love to your wife to kind of reestablish your feelings for her, but in the back of your mind, how are we supposed to know that you weren't really thinking about Nina? Okay, because you're really quick to tell Carly to let it go. Since when have you let anything go? But you're gonna ask Carly to let this situation go? Really? And you think that's okay? Really? Uh-uh. So what I'm going to ask y'all to do is give me your comments, okay? Let me know how you feel about this situation and what's been going on, because this is getting on the ridiculous side to the 2.2021 level. I'm going to break this what is it? 2.1 level? Oh, 2.0. I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. We're going to get us a slogan going on this one because we are talking mind-blowing bullshit. Mind-blowing BS. Okay, so I know a lot of things are going to be interesting this week. I am skipping over the whole Drew thing right now because Drew is brainwashed. Peter has found the key, well, has always had the key, and he is now double crossing Victor. Victor decided to tell Valentine that he's his father, which, rewriting history, if you've been a long-term General Hospital fan, you know that, first of all, Helena would have never cheated, and well, that's a lie. Would never maybe cheated on Mikos with Victor, his brother, ill. We know they're all into inbreeding and everything, but ill, okay, and then have a child that Mikos would have allowed to stay as long as Valentine was allowed to stay before he was sent off to boarding school with his extreme physical deformities that he supposedly had when he was a child. Okay, Victor is now claiming that he was one of those people that was kind to him in the compound until he was sent away. Well, if that's the case, then you were supposed to come later on in this man's life and show up as his father, but we know in the soap opera world they're not going to do that until they need the character. So basically that's what took place. They needed this character, they needed a Cassadine of Helena proportions to come back in, but he's going to try to turn the tables and be good. I don't know. We'll see. But in the meantime, what he's trying to do now is to recruit Valentine to his side of the fence against Peter because he can't control Peter. Okay, Peter is a faisant. He's a slimy little bastard, and he needs to be put down. So how's this going to play out once everybody is in Monte Carlo, which means Sam, Dante, who just got over PTSD and being mind controlled, does he still have a secret key within him that can be triggered? Liesel, Robert, Anna, Peter, Victor, Valentine, all the major players to resolve this situation so we can get baby Louise Bailey back to Maxie is in play in Monte Carlo. How is this going to all fall out? And how does it connect to Hayden? Okay, because we know that's still going to connect back to Hayden, because I think that Victor was the man that Hayden's mom was trying to get with when her dumb ass got killed. So all of that is going to be connected with Sean, and also with, again, finding Drew, saving Drew, bringing Drew back to Port Charles. Sam has declared the fact to Dante that she really didn't know Drew because the man that she thought she was with was Jason, and anything that transpired in that relationship was based on the fact that she thought she was still with the man that she truly loved, which was Jason at that time. Okay, fine. And now she is interested in getting into a relationship with Dante. Dante has said that, while he still has feelings for Lulu, they were divorced. He was the one that chose to divorce her. He did tell her to go on. She was about to get engaged to Dustin. Well, we know she wasn't, because she did turn Dustin down before the floating rib blew up and Dustin was killed and she was put into a coma. And just as Dante was coming to the hospital to meet her at the hospital to tell her that he was still in love with her, she collapsed in his arms, and now we're here 2 years later and she's still in a coma. But we know Lulu is supposed to be waking up sooner or later. And once she does, what's going to happen with the Dante-Sam relationship at that point? Is he going to remember his love, his true love for Lulu, because of the fact that she's going to wake up still in love with him? Okay. And then on top of that, you're going to have Drew, once he is saved, come back to Port Charles, reacquaint himself as a Quartermain, and get reacquainted with his daughter. Does that mean he's going to want to get reacquainted with Sam? Okay. Now, I can kind of see Britt and Drew together, or Drew coming back and getting with Elizabeth. That's a possibility, because we know they never had their opportunity, even though it was under false pretenses as well. So that could be a possibility. That could be a possibility. So I'm going to stop here. Okay, we've hit the 40-minute mark. 41 minutes to be total. I am going to say like, comment, share. Look out for the next video because it is going to be immediate. I do feel, because I'm going to be watching Friday's episode after this, before I start work, I will get a video done during my lunchtime, which is the same time that today's episode, Monday the 18th, will be showing. I do not watch the show in real time anymore, because I need to be able to watch it a couple of times without commercials and do these videos for you. I hate commercials, number one. And on top of the fact that it just frustrates the hell out of me sometimes to watch the show in real time, because then I want to throw things at the TV. Okay? So, thank you again. Comment, share, like, subscribe. Do those lovely things so we can share some time here at I Love GH. But with Nancy, have a great day.